Christina Sanjuan looking so great on this Halloween. I love your festive spirit.
I do love Halloween, especially now that I have kids. It's just so much fun to get out and about. I know it was very cold this evening, though. I know my kids didn't last long, but they're also pretty young. But as we go into tomorrow, I don't think temperature is going to be much better than they were all day long today. Maybe hitting the 50s around Colorado Springs, but that's a big if, because it's just going to depend how late we get the cloud cover going into the early part of the day, because of course that's going to keep us from really warming things up. So most of our heating going to be done before noon tomorrow around Pueblo. Same kind of thing for you. Temperature is going to be a few degrees warmer than what they were today, about 54 degrees, still below average, of course, for this time of year. Out to the eastern plains, just about the same sort of deal here, as we're going to be looking at some lower 50s really all along the Highway 50 corridor, lower 40s around Monument and Woodland Park. So certainly going to be chilly there. And we have, like I've been saying, we are going to see the clouds return into the second half of the day, probably still going to be dealing with some patchy fog and drizzle out there, especially going into tomorrow night. And that begins about a 24-hour stretch of a chance to get some moisture going. It's certainly going to be unsettled weather for the next, I guess, 48 hours, I'd say. Going into Tuesday morning, that's when we could start to get a rain-snow mix going around El Paso County. That'll probably just melt upon contact, but then moving along into the rest of the day, well, I think we're just going to be dealing with rain up and down the I-25 corridor and areas off to the east. But if you are west of I-25 and in our higher terrain, you have a better chance of seeing that rain turn over into snow. But most of us actually going to start to clear out as early as Wednesday, unless, of course, you are in that higher terrain there in the high country. That's again where we're going to see the rain showers probably linger a little bit longer. And temperature is finally going to start to increase from Wednesday forward, and we'll see that sunshine return. It's just going to take a